morning. How's everyone doing? Good morning. How is everyone this morning? What's everyone drinking? Anything interesting? I'm making coffee as per usual. Yes, good morning everybody. Coffee and water, those are good choices. Good choices. All right. Cleanest boy in the West?
Cleanest boy in the West.
Currently eating applesauce through a straw, so I'm guessing drinking applesauce. Interesting. There's not enough caffeine to get me through the morning. Oh no, Amanda, what happened? Oh shoot, hold on. We had a boo-boo here, hold on. Just give me a second. We're having a crisis. We're having an espresso crisis. I don't know why I said that. Okay. You guys have to get out. Goodbye. Goodbye. Okay. Everything is fine. Now we can do it. Wow, that was something. After Dark was awesome, Anya. It was awesome. We can't wait to have you at the next one, obviously. The roll for slime last night was so fun. I know. Those lives are a lot of fun. They are a lot of fun. They're very saucy and a lot of fun. Lame and boring as per usual. That's very funny. Now get rid of this. This. Last night was rough. I need to do over 2 pots of coffee. Oh no, baby issues? Was she up all night or something? Baby Autumn? She's what, 3 months now? I'm sure still sleep troubles. It's normal. Hey Grace, we're shaking bacon. I feel like we had a question for Grace yesterday, like a science question, and now I can't remember it. Oh, you had a really bad storm. Oh, did that drive her nuts? A lot of people had bad storms yesterday. A lot of people had bad storms yesterday. It was very prevalent, if you will. Very prevalent. Sleep regression. Heyo. All right. Look at that perfect pour that I made for Secret Boyfriend. Secret Boyfriend.
Whoa.
Look at it. There's like a fake heart on top.
It's a real heart.
It would try to be. We got snow, not a lot, but Pacific Northwest. Yeah, it's true. I remember that when I lived there, that it was a struggle. What? She lives in the Pacific Northwest, and she said people in there don't do well in snow. She's right.
Oh, yeah, I lived in Seattle also, and when it would snow, it would just be a graveyard of cars along the road.
Yeah.
People that just
Abandon their cars.
Yeah. It's the craziest thing because it would be like
not that much snow.
Just snow.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening?
Yeah, you guys need to get it together.
It would be an apocalyptic.
She's 3 months in a week. That's what I thought.
So I lived in a really hilly area, and all of a
Yeah.
But I'd have to go past some of them.
Right.
And I would literally go past and watch car by car.
Just like,
sliding, like fishtailing and then hitting the parked cars. It was
not good.
Insane.
Not good.
Insurance people had to be just jumping off roofs.
Yeah, they were like, I hate everybody. Grace, what are you planting? Also, when I lived in Oregon for a little while, we had 1 week of really bad snow. Mostly it was just rainy, but there was 1 week of like insanely bad snow. And we also lived on a hill actually, and it was hell. It was hell to get up and down that hill.
Oh, it's dangerous.
It was so dangerous. It was actually at my birthday, and Autumn wasn't there, and because where had Autumn gone? I guess Autumn went to Portland to spend Christmas with her mom, and I got back from my Christmas faster than she got back because of the snow, because I guess the directional, like wherever we were coming from, and I pulled up to, it was, Jen, it was 2 years ago, one Christmas ago, but no, I guess 2 Christmases ago. 2 Christmases ago. And I pulled up to the house to try to unload my stuff to take the rental car back, because it was a rental car, and just got stuck in a snowbank. And I had to have the neighbors help me push the car out because no one else was there. Sad.
Where's the smoothie?
I put it in the dishwasher last night when I ran it, because I figured since I was running it anyway and it would be ready before, that I would do it for you.
Genius. Thank you.
You're welcome. Here you go.
So clean.
So clean. Yeah, it was really bad. I was stuck in the snow. It was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. I didn't like any of it. And then driving back down that hill to return the rental car, whoo, she was a dangerous hill.
The other part about the Pacific Northwest is that if it does snow, they have no equipment to do anything about it.
No,
so like all the roads become ice because they don't have any salt trucks. They don't have anything.
I had just come from New York, and so I was like, oh yeah, it snowed, not a big deal, whatever. They'll take care of it.
Pacific Northwest, they're like, we'll just let it happen.
Right.
Like God sorted out.
Right, like literally, because like in New York, I'd driven in snow tons of times and never had an issue, and I was like, this is not a big deal.
So it doesn't turn
right. They not only salted instantly, as if there's a big storm, they just start plowing right away. And then in Oregon or in Astoria, we lived at the top of 2 hills, and there was no other way to get out of the area.
When I first moved out there, like 20 years ago, or whatever it was, I asked somebody, I was like, hey, does it snow here? And
they're like, nah.
And they like laughed in my face, like
yeah.
It's just snow, and then like it proceeded like
to snow
almost every year.
Right.
And just the city would never do anything about it.
Yeah, they literally don't do anything about it, which is wild, wild, wild. Hey, Becca. Why so many kids? Yes, New York salts before a storm too. Yeah, if they know a storm is coming, they'll put salt on the roads to ensure that it doesn't get too bad, which is real smart.
All of the East Coast does that. I mean, up to a certain point.
Right, not down, but up, yeah.
Yeah, like in Connecticut, you could.
Apparently, Minnesota does that too. Amanda says.
Oh yeah, I mean, all those ones have to.
Yeah, but it makes sense. But that's why no school, high winds made bad road conditions. Oh, so all the kids are home. Yikesers. We'll tell them to gather around. It's story time, as Fiona would say. Gather round, kids. It's story time. There's a princess in a tower. Oh my gosh, that's just like me.
It's amazing. I love it so much.
That's how the song goes.
It's Shrek, right?
What? It's Shrek. Yeah, that's Shrek. The city I lived in started doing that the last few years. Good, Jen. Good. Yes. Poor Rapunzel needs a haircut, but the witch won't set her free. She passes time by singing like someone else I know. As years go by, she sits and waits. As years go by, uh-oh. A torturous existence. I don't remember this part. She wishes she were dead. Skip ahead. But in the end, Rapunzel... Wait, no. Crap, I forgot the words. But in the end, Rapunzel finds a millionaire. The prince is good at climbing and braiding golden hair. So I know. That's it. Gather around, kids. It's story time. That's what you have to tell the children. Did it work? Did they come? Did they join? Did they come sit down? Did I give you a small reprieve from Tiny Humans? What's the Tiny Humans' favorite song? Do I know it, or is it one of the newfangled ones? Oh, she stopped having a tantrum. Oh, great, it worked. Genius. My mom is in the room right now, you guys, so be on your best behavior. Mom, would you like to pick a song this morning? Does Mom have a song request while she's here? She's not going to stay and listen because Mom doesn't like fiction books anymore. She grew out of fiction in her old age. No, she's in the chat, Amanda. She's in the chat with you all. I have a 78-year-old mother who knows how to use TikTok.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, in your youth you grew out of fiction books? It's a sad youth, Mom. It's a sad youth. She only reads nonfiction. It's so sad. Mom, are you going to read my book when it comes out?
Of course.
I doubt it.
What?
I don't think so. I don't think she can do it.
I think she will.
I don't think she will.
Think...
Are you going to read my novel, Mom? Yes, she says yes.
See?
I don't believe it. I'll believe it when I see it. I want to see a review on TikTok.
But she doesn't make TikTok videos. That's
sure she does.
She does?
She knows how.
Okay.
I just got an amazing text message.
What?
I will say it later. All right, Mom, do you have one song request before I start reading and you get bored? You can pick one song. Sing the song from Annie that I like. Oh, you want everyone to cry? Oh boy. Mom wants you guys to cry this morning. Okay, everybody grab your tissues. Gather around, kids. It's crying time. My mom loves me to sing this song. This is a gift to her. This is what she loves to hear. So let's see. Maybe far away, or maybe real nearby, he may be pouring her coffee, she may be straightening his tie, maybe in a house all hidden by a hill, she's sitting playing piano, he's sitting paying a bill. Betcha they're young, betcha they're smart, bet they collect things like ashtrays and art. Betcha they're good, why shouldn't they be? Their one mistake was giving up me. Betcha he reads, betcha she sews, maybe she's made me a closet of clothes. Maybe they're strict, as straight as a line, don't really care as long as they're mine. So maybe now this prayer's the last one of its kind. Won't you please come get your baby? Maybe. Poor Annie. She's an orphan. It's so sad.
That's beautiful, babe.
Thanks. That's my mom's favorite song for me to sing because she likes to cry.
That's a really good song.
It is. It's a beautiful song.
I know that one, actually.
I'm sure your mother loves Annie.
My mom loves it.
I believe this with every fiber of my being, and I've never even asked her.
Quite a bit.
Yes, my mom and I actually wore out 3 copies of the CD in our car. Thank you, Mom. I appreciate it. She said, I love it. You sing sad songs really good. Oh, no.
What?
You sing sad songs really good? Ah!
You sing all songs very good.
Thanks, babe. Are we going to smoothie dance before we read? Should we smoothie dance?
We could.
That's right, Ellie. I am on my shirt. All right, bye, Mom. Smoothie dance time. Shirt Sasha's going to smoothie dance for us today. You ready? Ellie, look, my cup is a cupcake. Isn't that cool? It's a cup and it's a cupcake. She's 4. It's exciting.
I know. It's
Yeah.
very cute.
So Sasha danced for them all today.
She did. Saucy.
Yeah, she's saucy.
I got one more to go though.
One more to go.
Actually, I
That's
want
okay.
peanut butter.
Oh,
Nice.
yummy. Yeah. Well, how about a cup that looks like a cupcake? Even better.
Yeah, that.
My brother is over and he's so impressed. Your brother is over and he's so impressed. That, I'm assuming that your brother is also full adult because you are a full adult. Is he impressed by my cup or by my song?
Or by the shirt.
Or by the shirt dancing?
The whole thing.
The singing I mentioned. Are you sure it's not my cup that he's impressed by? It is a cupcake. He's 50 and he's impressed by your voice. Well, hello, 50, and thank you for being impressed by my voice.
That's a wild way to say it.
Well, hello, Arbitrary Canary's brother.
That's fun.
One more?
Almost there.
One more smoothie dance and then we'll read. He's the okayest brother. Secret brother. Whoa, well done. Now Ellie is going to expect you to sing everything. I know. Secret brother, secret husband, secret boyfriend. Between Arbitrary Canary and I, we have whole secret families. We have secret boyfriend's niece. We have secret boyfriend's brother. They've all participated. It's true. It's an entire secret network of family members.
Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
Keep it secret, keep it safe. Aww.
What?
She said that her brother is flattered to be involved and that I should stop because he's only the okayest brother.
Okay.
So I can't give him any more props. I also have the world's okayest brother.
I'm good at that. That's really funny, man.
It's true. They also have secret babies in Florida. They have so many secret babies.
I have an awesome brother, actually.
You do have an awesome brother. I also have an awesome brother.
No, you said he's okay.
Aww. You know what? It's January. He's your only brother, but I got him that shirt and it's funny. It is funny. I should get that shirt for my brother.
What shirt?
The world's okayest brother.
That's fine.
It is. My brother has started texting me daily because it's audition season again. And suddenly
Wow.
I am now relevant once again.
Wow. So he needs. No.
Amanda, luckily my brother and I fall on the same side of the aisle, so there's no fighting to be had. Go ahead. Secret dance. Smoothie dance? Smoothie dance! Awesome. Shall we read? Yay! We did it! We got to reading time! We made it! With no slip-ups! We used to, and then... Oh, man. Yeah, no. That's true, Becca. You only have sister. Two sisters? Right? Alright. We are at chapter 7, which is called The Captain and Her Crew. The Captain and Her Crew. I packed you both a turkey sandwich, chips, yogurt, and a banana, 2 bottles of water, and a cookie, Charlotte said. There's also a sweatshirt, a flashlight, a Swiss Army knife, a first aid kit, matches, and a compass. The twins' mother handed them each a backpack full of items that she'd packed. Alex and Connor appreciated the gesture, but traveling into a fictitious dimension was very different than going on a camping trip. Thanks, Mom, Alex said. You didn't have to do that. Yeah, this isn't our first rodeo, Connor said, and then he looked through his bag. Oh, cool, chocolate chip, thanks! It's just a few things. I'll feel better knowing you have them, Charlotte said. So, where's your first stop? Any idea how long you'll be gone for? Alex turned to Connor, just as curious as their mother. For the first time in their lives, she was leaving all the planning to her brother. She had offered to help a number of times, but Connor was determined to do everything himself. Not insisting was a gamble on Alex's part. Thank you, darling. But he seemed very confident that he had it all taken care of. Well, first stop is my short story, Starboardia, Connor said excitedly. It's a pirate adventure set in the Caribbean Sea in the early 1700s. The story is about Captain Auburn Sally and her all-female crew as they search the deserted islands for buried treasure. Charlotte hid her concern behind a smile. Sounds progressive, she said. Don't worry, we'll be fine, Connor said. Auburn Sally is based on Goldilocks. We'll find her ship, we'll tell her the situation, we'll bring her and her crew back to the house. It'll be easy. If you say so, Charlotte said, unconvinced. Go get him, Bob said and patted him on the back. Connor had organized his writings neatly in a binder with tabs separating the short stories. He opened the binder to the first page of Starboardia and set it on the living room floor. Are you sure there isn't anything we need to do before we go? Alex asked one final time. There's nothing you're overlooking or forgetting? Trust me, I've got everything under control, he said. If there's one thing I know inside and out, it's my short stories. I've actually been really looking forward to this. I bet my characters will be excited to meet me. Traveling into the short stories had been all Connor could think about since he first had the idea. Naturally, the circumstances warranting the trip were terrible, but he still felt like the luckiest author in the world. Who else got to visit the worlds and meet the people that existed only in their imaginations? Connor often fantasized about seeing a film or a play based on his writing one day, but this would be so much better than that. It wouldn't be someone else's interpretation or adaptation of his words. Everything would be purely as he envisioned it. Connor removed Mother Goose's flask, which contained the portal potion, from his pocket. He poured a couple of drops onto the binder and then stored the flask safely in his backpack. The pages illuminated like a powerful spotlight, shining a bright beam of light towards the ceiling. Here we go, Connor said. Wish us luck. Well, good luck, Bob said. We'll be here when you get back. Ellie just said, here, sit here, and patted her lap, and I went, oh, that's so cute. I love them. Make good choices, Charlotte said. There's also some sunscreen in your bags if it gets sunny out. Alex and Connor strapped on their backpacks and stepped into the beam of light and disappeared from the house. Just like it happened when they traveled into the wonderful Wizard of Oz, Peter Pan, and Alice's adventures in Wonderland, the portal potion first took them into an endless space with nothing but words. Rather than printed text, words were written all around them, as if there were hundreds of invisible pencils moving through the air. Each word was in Connor's messy handwriting. Awesome, Connor said. It's like we've stepped into my brain. Well, you've got to work on your penmanship, Alex noted. The handwritten words were stretched into shapes and gained color and texture, and finally transformed into objects they described. Connor watched in awe as the world of his first short story came to life around him. Alex was excited too, until she saw the words ocean waves stretch below their feet. Hey, Connor, she said, should we be worried about... Before she could finish her sentence, the twins fell into an ocean formed under their feet. Strong waves crashed over them, pushing them farther and farther below the water. The water was difficult to swim against, but they kicked their way to the surface and spit out mouthfuls of salty water. Connor saw his binder of short stories floating in the water nearby and retrieved it before the waves carried it away. If he lost that binder, the twins would lose their exit back into the other world. Alex angrily splashed the water in her brother's face. "Why didn't you say that we needed a boat?" she asked. "Sorry," Connor said. "I forgot the first thing described was an ocean." By now, the handwritten words had finished forming the world of Starboardia around them. They were bobbing up and down in the middle of the Caribbean Sea. The air was so misty they could barely see each other, let alone land or ships in the distance. Alex snapped her fingers and a small wooden rowboat appeared in front of them. The twins climbed aboard and caught their breath. Connor put the binder in his backpack where it would be safe. If anything happened to it, they'd have no way back home. "Well, that was a rough start," Alex said. "What's the second thing you described?" "The Dalai Lama," Connor said. "The Dalai Lama is the name of Auburn Sally's ship," he said. "Don't judge me. I thought it was a funny name for a ship. We should see it any minute now." Just so you guys get the joke, it's spelled the Dalai Lama, D-O-L-L-Y, like a doll. And Lama, L-L-A-M-A. A towering shadow appeared in the mist. Something very large was headed their way. The shadow grew larger and darker, and the details formed as it got closer. Finally, the twins saw that it was a pirate ship sailing straight towards their rowboat with no sign of slowing down. It was going to plow right into them. "Abandoned boat!" Connor yelled. The twins dived into the water just as the ship smashed into their rowboat, crushing it into pieces. Once again, Alex and Connor were caught under the vicious waves. They swam to the surface and were sloshed around the choppy water as the pirate ship sailed right past them. "Ahoy!" Connor yelled up at the ship. "Twins overboard! Help us!" A few seconds later, a rope ladder was rolled off the ship and it landed in the water next to the twins. They grabbed it and climbed up, pulling themselves over the ship's rail and collapsed onto the lower deck. They were drenched and coughing up seawater. Alex looked up and saw a large black flag flying above the ship with a llama skull on it. "And this must be the Dalai Lama," Alex said, and she pointed out the flag to Connor, and a giant smile grew on his face. He leapt to his feet and helped his sister to hers. The flag was proof that they were in his short story. "We made it!" he exclaimed. "Alex, we're in Starboardia!" His excitement was cut short when they heard footsteps nearby. A dozen female pirates surrounded Alex and Connor, and they didn't look friendly. The pirates pointed their swords and rifles at the twins. "Well, well, well," said a woman with an eye patch. "Look what we have here." "What are you two scallywags doing in the middle of the sea?" a woman with enormous lips said. "Too young to be in the Navy, too fair to be pirates." Connor almost stepped on a pirate behind him and jumped. Having no legs, the pirate was walking on her hands and held a dagger with her teeth. "My guess is they're stowaways," the legless pirate said. "I'm surprised the sharks didn't find them first." Connor couldn't believe his characters were living and breathing before his eyes. The women were just as rough and dirty and sunburned as he had imagined them. He grinned from ear to ear and jumped up and down. "I'm so happy to see you guys," he said. The pirates tilted their head at him, looking like confused puppies. No one had ever been happy to see them before. "Guys, it's me," Connor said. "I'm Connor Bailey." The pirates raised their eyebrows and scratched their heads. Should they know who he was? "Who?" asked a pirate with a round, flat face. "Oh, come on," he laughed. "I'm the author." "Author of what?" asked a pirate with bare feet. "Of this story," he said. "I created this ocean. I created this ship. I created all of you. Do you really not recognize me?" Connor thought for sure it would have clicked by now, but the pirates just stared at him awkwardly, just as perplexed as before. "He's been marooned for too long. The boy's gone mad," said a pirate with a peg leg, and the other pirates nodded in agreement. Connor was getting frustrated. "I'm not crazy," he said. "Look, where's Auburn Sally? Let me talk to her. I'm sure she'll straighten this whole thing out. This is my own fault. I should have written you guys to be a little bit smarter." The pirates stopped, looking puzzled, and began staring daggers at him. Alex covered her face and let out a sigh. This wasn't going to be as easy as her brother thought. "Oh, Captain," the pirate with the eye patch called. "There's someone down here who'd like to have a word with you." Suddenly, a woman did a backflip off the upper deck and landed directly in front of the twins. She wore a large black hat, a long brown coat, tall boots, and she had a sword and a pistol attached to her thick belt. Alex knew this was Auburn Sally from the minute that she laid eyes on her. If her acrobatics weren't enough to give her away, the captain looked exactly like Goldilocks. The only difference in their features was the captain's long locks of auburn hair. "Sally!" Connor said like he was seeing an old friend, because technically he was. He stepped towards the captain to give her a hug, but Auburn Sally quickly drew her pistol and aimed it at his head. "Am I supposed to know you, boy?" Auburn Sally asked. Connor was shocked by the treatment he was receiving from his own characters. He'd expect a warm and gracious welcome, but instead, the heroine of his story was holding a gun to his head. Without him, none of them would even exist. He wondered if this was what underappreciated parents felt like. He held his hand up and backed away from the pistol. "Okay, time out," he said. "Everyone just calm down and let me explain. My name is Connor Bailey, and this is my sister Alex. I know this is hard to believe, but I'm your creator. We're living in a short story I wrote for my 8th grade English class." Auburn Sally looked at him with more perplexity than all of her crew added together. "He's got yellow fever," she said. "Prepare the plank. We gotta get him off the ship at once." "Oh, no, I'm not sick either," Connor said. Fine, if you don't believe me, I'll prove it." He walked around the circle of women, pointing at each pirate. "That's Winky Wendy. That's Fish Lips Lucy. Somersault Sydney. Pancake Face Patty. Stinky Feet Phoebe. And that's Peg Leg Peggy," he said. "I prefer Margaret," said the woman with the peg leg. "Fine, Margaret," Connor said and rolled his eyes. "In the back, that's High Tide Tabitha, Catfish Kate, Too Much Rum Rhonda, Big Booty Bertha, Not So Jolly Joan, and up in the crow's nest, that's Siren Sue. Your captain is Auburn Sally, and the ship is called the Dalai Lama, and you're searching the Caribbean for buried treasure." Connor crossed his arms confidently and waited for their apologies. The pirates were startled by how much he knew. They all looked at their captain, waiting to see how she would respond. "There's only one explanation for how a young man we've never met before could possibly know so much," Auburn Sally said. "He's a warlock! Tie him and his sister up. We'll burn them at the stake on the next island we find." Before they knew it, the twins' backpacks were yanked off and pushed against the main mast. The pirates wrapped ropes around their bodies, binding their torsos to the ship. Connor was so mad he turned bright red. "Let us go or you'll be sorry. Just wait until I get home and I'll write a sequel where you all get shipwrecked and you have to eat your boots to survive." The pirates laughed at his attempt to scare them. Winking Wendy pulled the ropes even tighter just to spite him. "Keep it up, Wendy, and see who's laughing when I have a seagull peck out your other eye," Connor warned. "Alex, can you believe this? How did you expect them to react?" she asked. "What would you do if a guy showed up out of nowhere and told you were characters in his story?" "I'd punch him in the face for making everything so damn difficult," he said. "Alex, you've got to do something. Zap them all with a sleeping spell. Turn them into seahorses. Anything." "No," Alex yelled. "I've been asking you for days if you needed any help planning, and you told me that you had everything under control. Well, so far we almost drowned, we nearly missed being crushed by a ship, and now we're being captured by your pirates, and I have a different definition of under control." "Alex, don't be a child," Connor said. "Grow up, Connor," Alex said. "This is your mess. You clean it up." "Fine, I will," he yelled. "I don't need you or your stupid magic. I'll find a way out of this myself." Although Alex and Connor were tied up right next to each other, they each pretended the other wasn't there and pouted in silence. A strong ocean breeze began clearing the mist and uncovered the sun. Soon, the ship had a breathtaking view of the ocean surrounding it, and there was nothing to see but the bright blue Caribbean Sea for miles around them. Captain Auburn Sally returned to the upper deck and wrapped her hands around the large helm. She looked out at the open water. A radiant smile spread across her face. There was nothing keeping her back and no one to stop her. She was surrounded by an abundance of freedom and possibilities. Connor remembered writing about that expression. It was the expression he always wished the real Goldilocks would have more often. "Once again, it's a beautiful day to be a pirate," Auburn Sally said to her crew. "Ladies, lower the sails." The twins looked up, expecting sails above them to come down and fill with the ocean air. Instead, Siren Sue peeked out of the crow's nest with a treasure chest full of scarves, jewels, hooks, jewelry, and weapons. The other pirates gathered below her with hands full of gold coins. You heard the captain. Time to lower the sails, Siren Sue announced. For a limited time, everything's half off. Scarves are 2 coins, earrings are 4 coins, necklaces are 6 coins, and rifles are 8 coins. Get your accessories while the sales are low. Siren Sue sold off the items to the pirates below until there was nothing left in her chest. The women ogled their new purchases and showed them off to one another. It absolutely baffled Alex, and when she glanced at Connor, he looked just as confused as she was. I don't understand what's happening, he said. I never wrote that. Did you mean to write lower the sails? S-A-I-L-S? Like the normal sails on a ship? Alex asked. Oops, Connor said. I might have spelled it wrong. To his relief, once the sails, S-A-L-E-S, were over, the pirates also lowered the sails, S-A-I-L-S, too. They were made from cream-colored cloth, exactly the color of Porridge's coat. They filled with the ocean breeze, and the Dalai Lama sailed into the horizon. Aubrey and Sally turned the ship's wheel back and forth as she guided her vessel through the rough waters. She kept a watchful eye. I'm sorry, that's really funny. They lowered the sails. I tried to keep it together, you guys, I'm sorry. Everything's half off. It's funny. That's why you need an editor. It's very funny. It's very clever. The longer the ship sailed, the more familiar expression grew on her face. One that the twins had seen on Goldilocks many times when they first met her. The captain seemed a little sad, like she was hoping something would appear in the distance, but it never came. Connor recognized this face too, and he began to worry. Oh no, he said. We're getting close to the part of the story when the Navy shows up. How can you tell? Alex asked. From the way Aubrey and Sally is looking out into the ocean longingly, he said. The pirates are about to get company. Like clockwork, Siren Sue climbed down from the crow's nest in a panic. Captain, she shouted, look in the east! A ship from the British Navy is approaching! Aubrey and Sally quickly unfolded a long telescope and scanned the eastern horizon. Alex and Connor squinted and could barely see a small speck moving in the distance. The captain smiled as she spotted the ship. This is what she'd been hoping for. Looks like Admiral Jacobson has finally caught up with us, Aubrey and Sally announced to her crew. Any orders, Captain? Winking Wendy asked. I'm tired of playing the Admiral's game of cat and mouse, the captain said. Hoist the sails and prepare for battle. The pirates all saluted her and went to work right away. They loaded the cannons on the deck and sharpened their swords. The sails were rolled up and the ship slowed down, allowing the Admiral's ship to gain on them. The small speck the twins saw in the distance quickly grew into an enormous ship twice the size of the Dalai Lama. Soon they could make out a British flag waving from the tallest mast and a ship's name painted on the side of it, the Royal Tantrum. While the pirates scurried around the deck preparing for battle, the captain gazed at herself in a compact mirror. Aubrey and Sally applied lipstick and blush. She brushed her hair to give it extra volume and wiped off all the smudges on her clothes. The captain wasn't getting ready for combat. She was getting ready for a date. That's how she prepares for battle? Alex asked her brother. Connor nodded bashfully. Just wait, he said. In about 5 minutes, this is all going to make perfect sense. When the Royal Tantrum was getting close to the Dalai Lama, the pirates dropped the sails and sailed all around the Navy ship. The twins could see that the Royal Tantrum's lower deck was full of British soldiers running amok. They spotted Admiral Jacobson standing on the upper deck. The Admiral was posed regally with one foot on the railing and a long sword in his hand. He was very handsome, with broad shoulders and pitch black hair and a neat ponytail. He wore a blue coat with several gold buttons and badges. The closer the pirate ship sailed to the Navy ship, the more familiar it seemed. Connor, is it just me or does the Admiral look exactly like Jack? Alex asked. She glanced between the captain and the Admiral. Just as her brother had said, it all finally made sense. Oh, Alex said, I get it now. Aubrey and Sally is based on Goldilocks, and the Admiral is based on Jack. Starboardia is a love story. That's so sweet. Connor grunted like his sister had just insinuated something very crude. Excuse me, he said defensively. Starboardia is a pirate adventure. It might have elements of love, but it's absolutely not a love story. Alex raised an eyebrow at him. Sure, she said mockingly. By now, the Dalai Lama was sailing around the Royal Tantrum with gusto. The British sailors ran across the deck to watch the pirates circling them. Winking Wendy took the wheel, and Auburn Sally went to the railing to see the admiral. She mimicked his pose on the railing of her own ship, and the two commanders locked eyes. If Alex hadn't known there was something between them before, she definitely knew it now. "Good afternoon, Admiral," Auburn Sally said. "What brings you to this part of the Caribbean today?" "You're a wanted woman, Auburn Sally," the Admiral said. "You mean by more than just you?" the captain said playfully. "Honestly, Admiral, you're so persistent, I'm starting to think you have a little crush on me." The pirates roared with laughter. Even the Navy soldiers were amused and covered their mouths to hide their chuckles. The whole scene felt like it should have happened in high school hallways instead of the Caribbean Sea. "Yeah, well, the entire British Navy's just smitten with you, Captain," the Admiral said. "They've asked me to personally escort you back to land. Come willingly and I won't sink your ship." "Admiral, may I remind you that I'm literally sailing circles around you?" she said. "It's your ship I'm worried about. I'd hate to destroy it and embarrass you in front of all your men. By the way, nice tights, gentlemen." "Ah, so it's going to be the hard way, huh?" Admiral Jacobson said with a grin. Auburn Sally laughed. "Oh, Admiral," she said, "haven't you learned by now? I'm the kind of girl who likes playing hard to get," Connor yelled, finishing her sentence. The captain and her crew quickly turned to him, wondering how on earth he knew what she had been planning to say. "I told you, this is my story," Connor reminded them. "I wrote this cheesy dialogue coming out of your mouths. Would you quit the innuendos and just get on with the battle already?" Auburn Sally glared at him suspiciously for a moment and then turned to the Admiral again. "I agree with the Warlock," she said. "Ladies, open fire!" As the Dalai Lama circled the Royal Tantrum, it was like the ships were joined together in a dangerous waltz and the pirates were taking the lead. They lit their cannons and fired them at the Navy soldiers, blasting large holes in the British ship. The Admiral's sailors retaliated, but the pirate ship was much smaller and moving faster, making it harder as a target. A few times the pirates were hit. The entire ship rattled and swayed in the water, but the damage the Navy was inflicting was nothing compared to the mark the pirates were leaving. The sailors looked to the Admiral for guidance, but he seldom gave them orders. It was almost like he wanted to lose. Cannonballs and chunks of wood flew through the air. Parts of the Navy ship were ablaze and the sky filled with smoke. Connor had written the entire battle, but writing was nothing like living it. Even though he knew exactly what was going to happen, it was still terrifying to see it come to life. "This is the most dangerous flirting I have ever seen," Alex said. "Don't worry, the pirates win," Connor said and looked up at the captain. "Sally, would you hurry up and tell your pirates to aim for the Navy's cannons already? I don't want to get splinters in my eyes." The thought had come to the captain's head just a moment before Connor suggested it. "How did you know that I was—" "Just do it!" he yelled. "Aim for the cannons, girls!" Auburn Sally ordered. The pirates followed their captain's orders and aimed their cannons at the navies. They blasted them off the ship, leaving the Royal Tantrum virtually defenseless. The pirates cheered and shook their swords at the sailors. Winking Wendy jerked the wheel, and the Dalai Lama slammed into the Royal Tantrum, bringing the pirate ship alongside it. "Now let's take their ship," Auburn Sally ordered. The pirates each grabbed a rope and swung aboard the Navy ship. The battle continued with hand-to-hand combat on the decks of the Royal Tantrum. The sailors were barely trained for sailing, and they were no match for the pirates attacking them. Winking Wendy flashed her empty eye socket at the sailors, scaring them and causing them to trip over themselves. Stinky Feet Phoebe made her bare feet against the Stinky Feet Phoebe held her bare feet against their noses, and the fumes made the men temporarily lose consciousness. Having no legs made it easy for Somersault Sydney to tumble into the sailors and knock them down like bowling pins. Pancake-faced Patty seemed to enjoy headbutting the men, which explained the odd shape of her skull. Big Booty Bertha simply turned her backside to any of the soldiers charging towards her, and they bounced backwards onto the deck. Some of the pirates weren't as efficient fighters. Siren Sue sang high notes and hurt the sailors' ears. Fish Lips Lucy irritated them with slobbery kisses. Too Much Rum Rhonda drunkenly argued with the sailors about religion and politics. Not So Jolly Jones simply cried on their shoulders. The pirates offered perfect distractions for Peg Leg Peggy, or Margaret, to sneak up behind the sailors and trip them with her wooden legs. On the upper deck, Captain Auburn Sally and Admiral Jacobson walked around each other with their swords raised. They were so lost in each other's eyes that they almost forgot they had to fight to keep up appearances. When the two eventually started dueling, it resembled more of a passionate tango than an actual sword fight. "This is the most non-violent violence I've ever witnessed," Alex said. "I kept it tame in case I had young readers," Connor said. "Well, that explains why the antagonists are so simple," she noted. "To be honest, I was really worried about what kind of villains your imagination would come up with. I'm glad they're just men in tights." "The Navy sailors aren't the bad guys in this story," he said. "The bad guys are way scarier than that. They're based on people I've seen in my nightmares. We'll be long gone before they show up. I mean, I hope anyway." Eventually, the sailors surrendered, and the pirates rounded them up at the center of the Royal Tantrum's lower deck. Auburn Sally pushed Admiral Jacobson off the upper deck and his men caught him. The pirates raised their weapons in celebration. They had won the battle. "You've lost, Admiral," Auburn Sally said. "The British Navy's going to be so disappointed." "Sometimes a man fails in order to win," the Admiral said with a smirk. The Navy sailors were stripped of their weapons and their hands were tied behind their backs. The pirates placed a plank between the ships and forced the sailors to cross and board the Dalai Lama. Once everyone aboard the Royal Tantrum had been taken prisoner, the pirates blasted the Navy ship with cannonballs until it sank. "Put the prisoners in the cell below deck," Auburn Sally ordered and glanced at the twins. "And I mean all the prisoners." The pirates untied the twins and pushed them along with the sailors. "Oh, no, Connor said. "The bad guys are going to show up soon. I've got to convince Auburn Sally that I'm the author of the story before they get here." "I'm willing to help you if it'll speed things up," Alex said with a sigh. "Well, I'm not willing to accept your help yet," he said. "I told you I could take care of this on my own." Connor managed to push past the pirates, manhandling him and his sister. He dashed across the deck, but just before he was in reach of Auburn Sally, he was tripped by Somersault Sydney and tackled by Catfish Kate and High Tide Tabitha. "Captain, don't lock us up," he pleaded from underneath the pirates. "I'm warning you, something really bad is about to happen and you can avoid it if you just listen to me." Auburn Sally laughed at his warning. "Take him away," she said, and turned her back on him. The pirates forced Connor to his feet and dragged him away, but he knew he wasn't ready to give up. "I know what you stole from Smoking Sail Sam," Connor yelled. The entire ship suddenly froze as if he'd shouted something obscene. Alex could tell that all the pirates and the sailors who knew what her brother was talking about. Just the mention of the name Smoky Sail Sam sent a collective chill down their spines. Auburn Sally turned back to Connor with large, fearful eyes. He continued his warning, desperate for her to listen to him. "He knows what you stole from him, too. He knows about everything that happened on the island," Connor said. "Smoky Sail Sam is looking for you and your crew right now. He's going to see the smoke from this battle and be here before sunrise tomorrow." Connor knew that if anything would get through to her, this would be it. The captain looked him up and down but didn't say a word. "Your orders, Captain?" Catfish Kate asked. Auburn Sally put on a brave face for her crew. "Throw this boy and his sister in the cell with the others," she said. "If he has tall tales to tell, he can share them with the other prisoners." Auburn Sally turned around and faced the ocean. Connor struggled against the pirates, but it was no use. They were too strong to break free from. That's how he'd written them. Connor and Alex were pushed down the steps to the cells below deck with the sailors. "Well, that totally worked," Alex said. "Are you sure you don't want my help?" "Give it a minute," Connor said. "She'll come around. She has to." The captain looked down at the burning wreckage of the Royal Tantrum. Her eyes followed the trails of smoke ascending into the sky. Once all the sailors and the twins were below deck, there were no pirates around to bear witness, but she pulled out the necklace she kept hidden in her shirt. Dangling from a gold chain was a blood-red ruby the size of a human heart. While she refused to believe everything Connor had said, she couldn't deny that he possessed an extraordinary knowledge of her ship and crew. If what he said about Smoking Sail Sam was even remotely accurate, the captain's greatest nightmare was about to come true. Dun, dun, dun! That was amazingly funny. I find his stories highly entertaining. Thank you, Connor, for writing such hilarity. Very, very funny. Okay, so there is no book club tomorrow because I will be at a Run Disney event that starts at 5 a.m. So we will be skipping book club tomorrow. I'll be back for book club on Friday, so don't worry about that. It's just tomorrow. Hopefully I'll get some good pictures of the castle at sunrise because we will be doing yoga in front of the castle. I will show you guys. I kind of did like a makeshift thing. Yeah, it means I have to wake up at like 3 to be able to get down there by 5. We'll see what happens. I'll come up with a schedule today. But it's sunrise yoga at the castle, which should be dreamy, I think, right? No, is it good, Amanda? Should we read it? Sounds interesting. That sounds like something I'd be into. Amanda, will you send me a DM so I don't forget to look that up? Have you done it, Shira? Maybe, I've been thinking, Amanda, about having like you did sunrise yoga at the castle 4 times? That's amazing. Wait, Shira, I didn't know that. Tell me more about that. Amanda and anyone else, I've been thinking about having like a version of book club that takes place over on Patreon where we do darker stuff and we do it like once a week at night or something like that. I've been thinking about doing that, so maybe we can use that. I know, but I didn't know that they've been doing it for that long. What's it like? Is it good? Beep, boop, beep. I'm very excited. Anyway, yoga's tomorrow, and then I have my 10K on Saturday. It's crowded usually, but really cool. Interesting. So yeah, no book club tomorrow. Yes, book club on Friday. No book club on Saturday. So yeah, it's a little bit of a weird week, but it's okay. And I will see you all later. I know I'm about to get off, Cass. I'm gonna go ship a bunch of orders, and maybe there will be slime tonight if I get a bunch of orders done and I have time. And that's pretty much the whole kit and caboodle. All right, I will see you all later. Goodbye, loves. Goodbye. Goodbye, love.